All right, so we're gonna be starting with Vagante tonight, just because I haven't played it in a couple of days. In fact, I haven't played it in like 4 days or something like that. And even though like I have a massive backlog for this game, I am going away for a week from like May 23rd to May 30th, give or take. So it means I'm not going to be able to do any Vagante. And honestly, it's one of those where I just enjoy playing this game, especially this run. This run is freaking ridiculous. Hands down, best run I've ever done. With, like, no reason for it, but it's just beautiful. It's so much fun to play. Oh, man, my eyes are dry today, though, which is kind of rough. Let's see. What is up? Everybody tonight. I'm having a good day. I had a good weekend. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, for people that somehow don't know about Catterday. Catterday has been kind of this nice little growing stream web show, I guess. And probably a lot of people have at least seen my announcement videos from time to time. I guess there's also not Catterday, which is a thing. Let's see. Sorry, Satanic Jesus, we're not going to be... I don't know if I'm going to be dying anytime soon. But I do actually kind of want to see this run get like really, really far. But so, you know, Catterday has been kind of this like expanding thing going along. Friday, Saturday nights, I guess, not Friday, Friday nights it's not Catterday. That is the name because we're lazy. And technically that can apply to like any other stream night that we ever decide to branch out to. That'd be insane actually if we actually had like 3-4 nights a week and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Hey, he dies. I've only taken 2 damage this entire floor. This is ridiculous. Saw a comment on one of the previous videos of somebody being sad that I'd lost lifesteal, and it's just like, well, nope. That's not gonna happen this time around. But let's see. Chad is going fast tonight, so it's gonna be hard for me to follow. But yeah, so to try and get back on track point-wise, there's like four thoughts that I'm trying to run with right now, because I'm actually awake. One of the problems is I don't get a whole lot of like sleep during the weekends, just because it's like I have to get up early to do events and stuff, but I also stay up super late because, well, Catterday, and not Catterday. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna like do, people read the stream title and thought it was Chroma Squad. That is sad. But so today I've actually gotten like an insane amount of sleep. Something like 9 or 10 hours. It happens. Like, you know, the zombies. I think I just one-hit KO'd the Abomination. This is horrifying. But yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is I'm trying to get this run to go particularly far, because we've been pretty far in... We've been pretty far in most other... with that, like, one other warrior run. But I really want to get this run up to, God, I don't know if Crips 250 is even, like, within reach and stuff like that. It'd be great if we could get there, though. Not because, like, we really need to. Like, at this point, I could not scum at all, and we'd win. Like, I've taken 3 damage this entire floor. And, like, I would have no regrets if we just never scummed, period. So, like, we don't need to do that. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm looping back on my points here. But, like... I want to get far. And so I'm gonna scum what I can. For at least the time being. I don't know. My brain is fried because I'm awake and I'm actually going... I think I actually have to be tired to be able to have, like, a consistent train of thought in this game, which is kind of unfortunate. I guess in most games, really. Okay, so, talking about Catterday, I'll get to that in a second. Talking about Catterday, get to that in a second. Talking about this run, yeah, this run's probably going to be like a 20-parter if I can manage it. Maybe 30? I think what's gonna happen is this a 9-hour run? Oh, no, 9 hours of sleep, okay. But I think what's going to happen with this run is I'm going to get up to Crips 100, give or take. And then I'm actually going to stop and actually do a lot of stuff off camera. Maybe record it via like OBS or something. so you guys can still eventually see, but what I'll probably do is just have it speed up and slow down if I ever find anything particularly interesting. Because I really don't... I don't think anybody's going to be interested in me live streaming this for the next, like, 3 weeks. I think everybody at that point will have completely lost their minds and want me to go back to dying in the caves, which is kind of a shame. But, you know, for the time being, we're just going to do this probably until I leave for that vacation. Mainly because I kind of want to come back from the vacation super fresh and I don't have to deal with this run anymore once we get to that point, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's fun. Okay. I also just enjoy turbo fisting things. That's kind of it. It's like, I play a lot of, like, really stressful games, so kind of the point I'm at in this game has just become kind of like, this is how far you can cheese in Vagante, and I don't know. I kind of want to see if I can do, like, 1,000 damage crits as well. I mean, currently we're at 384, so we're pretty far off. Let's see. Interested in the top of my head. Oh, boy. I'll show that off between games, I guess. I just keep the hat on because it keeps me from having terrible headphone hair. Yeah, that's something I don't think I've actually mentioned in Vagante, because the face cam thing is new between episodes, and so I think for anybody watching this like live, you guys are gonna just see face cams pretty much from now on. But anybody that's watching this on YouTube is never gonna see my face. I'm gonna try and keep the face cam talk out of like my general episodes unless it's Scatterday, at which point, like, who cares? Just because, I don't know. I'm still not entirely sure if I'm sold on the ideas of face cam. I just got it because it was such a, like, well-requested thing. And, God, I've talked about this in, like, practically every video I've made, or at least once a night. But, like, I'm not totally sold on the idea of them, especially from, like, a YouTube context. Whereas, like, Twitch-wise, I think it's a little bit more excusable. I think I'm standing on a bed of spikes, but it's very hard to tell. But, you know, Twitch-wise, it's maybe not excusable is the correct word, but a little bit more important, because there's that, like, human aspect to it, whereas, like, YouTube, I think people are a little bit more game-focused on YouTube, and Twitch, they're a little bit more personality-focused. It's like a 40-60, 60-40 difference, so it's not, like, that significant, and I could be totally wrong about this one. I guess it also really depends on... I'm not going to be able to make it up there. I don't know. Because it's what dash and/or scrolls of jumping are for. But, and, like, honestly, it's practically a meaningless distinction given the situation. But, I don't know. It's always one of those where I've kind of wondered, like, what is the culture difference between, like, let's see, is the music too loud? The music is way too loud. Okay, let me fix that. Got that. My inventory is full. We just got a book of heal, though. That's really useful. But let's see. But I've always been curious about the like culture of Twitch versus the culture of YouTube, and like you'd think that it would be very similar. That, you know, it's just people watching a thing. And, like, the more I do both, the more I realize... it is very similar. A lot of people are just kind of interested in gameplay, semi-intelligent, entertaining commentary, that kind of business. But there are... I don't know. Like, I wish, like, I could almost do, like, polls of, like, streamers and stuff like that. And I'm not sure how, like, doable this is. But, like, you know, how important is facecam? Seeing, you know, what the differences are between the two audiences. And unfortunately, like... for the time being, I don't think I'd be able to get very good data, which is why part of the reason why I haven't, like, bothered too much. You know what? No, I could probably actually get the information. That'd be, like, a really interesting thing to ask, because, I mean, of course, I might not have as big of a following on Twitch as I do on YouTube. And, I mean, go figure, that's some amount of, like, effort invested, time spent, you know, how long I've been doing it from one place versus the other. But I would be very interested to see in, like, how exactly... yeah, no, turbo punching is just way more efficient. than jumping. Except for when they're, like, surrounding you and stuff like that. But, like, there's communities like our Let's Play. Except for, I don't know, I guess part of the problem is, like, the most useful information to get in relation to, like, streaming and whatnot is... well, doesn't look like I'm using the sacrifice shrine here. The most useful information would be from people with large audiences, and they're the people that are the hardest to get a hold of, which is kind of a shame. Let's see. Oh. Leave me alone. Let's see. So, to quote Go Mikesy, I came to your Twitch from your YouTube, very game-focused. I actually been yelled at in a chat for asking questions about the game being played when people want to talk about pretty much anything else. That's really surprising, honestly. Huh. How... Maybe this is kind of my fault for, like, not looking at any other Twitch streams, period. But, like... Okay, don't want to get standing on the spikes. I don't know, I guess I'm always... I mean, I guess during these runs, I'm not going to be particularly game-focused just because there's very little variation in what's going on apart from me just utterly just wrecking things. Oh, come on. You need to... Are we in a good place? There we go. I don't even... Like, why am I even talking to the ghost? Like, it can hit me and it's not even going to damage me at this point. My defense is so high. I think this is the highest my stats have ever been. Cannot actively confirm that one way or another. But, like... What would... I don't know. I really need to look into, like, other Twitch streams at some point, like, watch somebody play Binding of Isaac, see what they have to say, see what, I don't know, maybe I will do a day where, like, people sit down and recommend other streamers for me to watch, and actually watch other YouTubers, because I've mentioned this frequently, that I just do not watch other people's content, because, to a small degree, I don't like the, not the loss of individuality, but I'm a bit of a copycat, for better or worse, just because, you know, I hear somebody else's joke and I kind of try and adapt it. So every once in a while, this is messy. Freaking zombies keep coming at me from one way or another, but I can't back myself into a corner because they still haven't quite fixed the physics object. That's kind of a shame. Let's see. Post a poll on personality versus gameplay on Twitch. Yeah, go. Post a poll. I'd love to see what the results are. And maybe we can kind of have this like a consistent poll that I do like a separate one via the YouTube side of things. So I guess people watching this later on YouTube, yell at me if I don't have like some kind of poll link somewhere talking about like personality and whatnot. And honestly, like I think personality is still going to be like the most important thing that people would probably point at. Like, if it weren't for the personality, why would you even watch the channel? Let's see. Do I think there's an enemy spawning limit? Yeah, I have no idea. Just random question about the run. Would there be an enemy spawning limit after a certain point? Because if you notice, we keep finding more and more mummies along the way. I don't think we're going to run into a limit. I think it's just going to keep dumping enemies on us until it doesn't know what to do with itself anymore. Which it could be wrong. But that's part of the reason why I want to do these runs, even though it's probably not the most exciting for most people. Which is probably unfortunate. Let's see. Oh, shoot. He is ready and ready to go. Let's just wait for him for a second. Actually, you know what? I've got Fire Shield. Who cares? Yeah, I think it still takes 2 hits to kill one of these guys, but it's very hard to tell. Oh, shoot. This is very awkward positioning. And even then, it's only the difference of like 5 to not 5 damage. Okay. Oh, hey, Rice. How's it going? And like, I could be wrong about this. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people that like watch other, that, you know, watch YouTubers not for the personality, but for the game played in a lot of ways. And like, maybe I'm being a bit judgmental here, but like from what I've heard that like Bisnet, for example, is so very game focused that his personality kind of comes off as extremely wooden. And like from my experience, it's been that way, but you know, maybe that's just because I haven't actually listened to the guy more than like a couple of minutes. Watch him watch this video and get very angry at me. Probably not. Let's see, this run. Yeah, no, it's this run. But so I can imagine a lot of people would watch him not per se because of his like, not per se because of like any kind of strong personality, but because of his like skill and knowledge, which I would actually still. Well, oh shoot, that really does make it a lot darker. I really cannot discount how much range I have fist-wise. But I don't know. It also always surprises me when I hear about like YouTubers and whatnot just never like using the game as a backdrop for something else. And I guess I do it. Like right now I'm barely talking about Vagante to begin with, but I think that's just because I've done my dues in the situation. And like I will talk about it from time to time, especially as like things change. It's just these runs are very, very repetitive. And like on one hand, I don't know, on one hand I'm not sure if I should keep doing these like mega runs. And this is probably going to be the last mega run up until the point where we like have a good reason to do another one, like if there's like some kind of super final boss to come out along the way. Up. Oh, I actually forgot that I got a new homing bow. Can he? Oh, he can come in. He can come into the hole. Okay. Just because he can come into the hole does not mean he can win the hole. That sounded weird. Oh god, that sounded horrifying. Let's see. I don't know. Personality, YouTube. Because, like, Northern Lion definitely has, like, a heck of a lot of personality from what I've seen. I don't know. That's an interesting question, because, like, you definitely don't go to, like, PewDiePie, for example, and honestly, like, I don't know how much of my audience actually watches PewDiePie, for example. I think some people have mentioned being fans of PewDiePie or Markiplier along the way. But I don't think you generally want to go to them for pure gameplay, just because mostly it's reaction-based. I think actually a good point would be, you can't just judge every channel the same way. So, for example, it would be a bad comparison if you lumped me in with PewDiePie or Markiplier or whatever. Even though, you know, there are aspects of both that would actually be something that's worth checking out and using. But because of the difference in content and target audience, you can't really use them as an exact data point along the way. Let's see. Bird brought up the notion that Northern Lion was an amazing solo commentator. Yeah. No, that's another point. Like, YouTubers that are only good in a group setting versus a solo setting. Like, there are a lot of YouTubers that I have zero interest in watching their solo stuff, but the moment they start doing a collaboration, I am down. That hurt. So for example, Gassy Mexican for probably a decent example. His solo commentary is like extremely wooden and just awkward because he doesn't know what to say. I just got Flame Pillar at the very wow. I'm on like almost Crypt 60 and we're just getting that. Speaking of, I got a bunch of potions of Featherfall. I'm gonna kind of burn through some things. Let's see. So let's drink all the potions of Featherfall. Interesting. Since the Featherfalls don't stack, you know, I'm actually really disappointed the potions of Featherfall do not stack. Let's see. How many potions of speed do I have? 18. Okay. Well, this is some kind of special. Do I attack any faster? I think I do. It's hard to tell. I think I do. The unfortunate part is you just can't get like a really accurate you can't get an accurate data point on this one because you just attack so fast it doesn't even matter. Ah, this is messy. I love it, but it is so messy. Okay, let's see. What music is this? This is all from Epidemic Sounds. I don't know. It's effectively copyright-free music from my network. So as long as I credit them occasionally, usually when people ask, oh, you can dodge that. Well, that's good. They're not homing arrows. I originally thought those were homing arrows along the way. Okay. Let's see. Magic Quiver. I had one of those at the beginning of this run. I now have no use for it. This is absurd. All of the drugs. They're everywhere. And nothing from that one. For a second, I thought that was a new type of fist weapon. I was like, sweet. Nope. I don't even feel like I move faster. I wonder if there's diminishing returns based on various stats. Because, like, speed, I think, seems to have capped it. You know what? You know, there's probably just an attack speed cap and a movement speed cap in this game, and I've hit both. Because I don't, like, thus far, there's no strength, like, there's no, like, damage cap. Actually, speaking of... Oh, can't do it right now. I was gonna see if I could do a dash punch. Might make sense. Kind of hard to do. Should probably actually stop doing this so I can... probably impossible with Berserk along the way. I definitely need a movement speed cap in any game. Yeah, probably. I mean, sometimes it's kind of enjoyable when there isn't one at all. Let's see. You're a wolf destroyer of worlds. Yes. Oh, yes. So, what was I talking about? Personality games stuff. It's an interesting dichotomy. I don't know. I guess maybe my thoughts are half-baked just because this game does keep distracting me. This is not the best Rantasode type game along the way, but still. Mountain Dew colored Wonderbot. What? But... I wonder how much it also God, these are also questions that I would love to have answered along the way, but of course, like, it's not going to be easy for anybody to ever answer them for me. Like, for example, you know, how many people are actually interested in watching solo stuff versus group stuff? You know, my channel or otherwise. Because it's actually pretty apparent when I'm doing, like, solo stuff, just how many more people are willing to watch me play, like, a solo roguelike and stuff. Let's see. That's kind of an interesting point of, like, how many people are even interested in, like, collaborative videos, solo videos, you know, YouTubers and stuff like that, and, like, how hard it is to get a YouTuber that has the sweet spot for both. And, like, how many of them actually exist as like, that. I'm not gonna say, like, functional, multifaceted. Okay. I was like, how did I do 999 damage? I do think the damage cap on this game could actually be 999. Which would be kind of interesting. Either that or that's just the set spike damage. Kind of a shame you can't increase your vitality past a certain point. Okay. But I don't know. I guess that's the point. And these are things that I just wonder about and would like to know along the way. But so question. When I aspire to do better in my career, what do I strive to do? For further enlightenment. I mean, honestly, like, I'm a very nose to the grindstone type person. I'm actually kind of I'm not gonna say I'm a bad employee. But I'm a very self-focused person along the way. Like, for me, personal advancement, like, career stuff, it's just time spent. Time spent and consistency. Shoot. I'm trying to think. Who talked about this that I know? I guess I don't really have, like, a good person to reference. I might as well just kind of talk about this on my own. And we're just switching... topics here wildly. But as far as, like, just career advancement, or really just advancement of any skill, consistency is the most important thing. If you stop doing thing for a day, there's a diminishment in your skill, in your ability to do whatever. So say, for example, if I stop recording commentary for a day, you know, if I stop doing roguelikes, for example, if I stop doing Vagante for a day, I'm actually going to be worse as a result. Which is why, you know, trying to be as consistent as possible, as, you know, regular as possible with these sorts of things is super important. So if you're a painter, you gotta paint every day. You can't just slack. And I mean, this is kind of me being a hypocrite because I do not paint every day, and this is actually one of my bigger regrets along the way. If you're a coder, don't just do the bare minimum of like what you need to code. Learn shit, like Birdcatcher, for example, who might or might not have gone to bed at this point. I have no idea. But so Birdcatcher was a music major and does a lot of music stuff still, but eventually decided that he, wasn't going to be able to make the money to survive along the way. Career-wise, do not want to get stuck there. But so he decided along the way that music wasn't going to be, what actually gets him a job or anything. So he went into computer science to, make money. And, I mean, for an obvious reason, like, that was not his first pick, but at the same time, from what I can tell, computer science seems to be, like, a fairly interesting thing. Oh, yeah, Bird is still here. It still seems to be, one of his major passions. And I guess the easiest point to make would be, like, do what you love, don't do what makes you money, or try and find a middle ground, really. Because I'm definitely one of those people that does the do what you love, not do what makes you money type person. I am poor as fuck, and I really don't regret it, honestly, but it's not going to work for everybody. And honestly, like, if I was in any other kind of position, I probably would have gone for, like, a different career track in life. Probably computer science as well, actually. Alright, so I have to check this. Are these Featherfall boots going to be completely ridiculous? No, they're not. Itemization at this point is weird. But so just to go back to the Bird example, seeing as we're faffing his ego, because he is listening, he doesn't just do homework. Like, he doesn't just do the bare minimum to pass his classes. He actually is sitting down and learning how to program in Unreal and make games, effectively. And I guess the point for, like, professional advancement, mainly, somehow turn your profession into your hobby, or your hobby into a profession in such a way that it actually can make you money or a living or whatever. And, of course, this isn't actually doable in all manners. You know what? Let's just crowd surf for a second. Jesus Christ, I'm getting pushed around like crazy. But I don't know. I guess motivation is the most important thing, because like skill comes along the way, and like there's no fast track to being expert at anything. It's just effort and like a lot of thought and stuff like that. But so strive for consistency and something you're passionate about. Yeah, pretty much. Because like the thing is, if you're really working hard to do something that you do not love, you're going to burn out, and you're going to burn out hard. I talk about YouTube a lot in relation to these things just because it's like my primary focus at this point in life. But like, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, if it's, you know, coding, if it's art, if it's even like accounting or whatever. Like my mother was a business major, master, whatever. And she really likes the business aspect of everything. But she ended up being like a stay-at-home mom because, you know, 2 young boys is a lot to handle, and, you know, honestly, sending your kids to daycare is not always the nicest thing to do. I don't know. I've seen the results go different ways depending on like what kids, what family, whatever. I had a friend whose parents were both lawyers. Boy, was he an asshole. I mean, nothing to say specifically against lawyers, but, like, his parents did not actually bother raising him, and it did not turn out well. But so, my mother ends up being a stay-at-home mom. Ooh, longbow. Still have not actually replaced my bow, even though I probably should. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with daycare. And, like, maybe I'm letting my opinions be tinged from, you know, people in... Oh, shoot, I'm just standing on a spike trap, and I didn't even realize it. That's important to avoid. Let's see. But so... Why is that spikes there? I'm glad I have spike protection, otherwise I'd be super dead. Okay. But, like, my mother, as a business master, as a business major, whatever, you know, somebody that was in business for quite a while, and, you know, got out of it, she started looking into investing, stock market and whatnot, To the point where I think she actually ended up making more money than my dad as a stay-at-home mother. She ended up making more money than my dad did as a stay-at-home mother. I mean, admittedly, she wouldn't be able to do that without my dad's income to invest. But she effectively, you know, was like doubling, I think, my dad's income as a result, if not a little bit more, which was pretty ridiculous. And so she kind of took her, you know, standard profession, and instead of just going, you know, to standard day job, managed to turn it into something that kept her interested, while she wasn't actually working anymore. And, you know, made a lot of money off of it. Same thing with coding, you know, kind of working on your own projects. Hell, if you're like a networking system security type dude, make your own network, try and break it. I have a lot of friends that, like, would make their own test networks and just try and hack the crap out of it and, like, challenge each other. And, like, I'm a huge believer of gamification, which is, you know, turning things into games. Admittedly, I'm not that big of a fan of, like, the really cheap gamification where it's like, you get extra points, and eventually at the end you get a prize. Like, that's super stupid. Lord Tang is asking, why am I super overpowered? I am in, like, Crypt 60, I think. If I'm not in Crypt 60, I'm pretty damn close. But, like, I'm a big fan of, like, you know, kind of turning something that would usually be work into some kind of amusing diversion instead. Because, like, the more things that feel like work, the more you treat work like work, the less you're going to enjoy that. That should be pretty freaking obvious at this point. He is... I was gonna say still alive. This is actually false. I think I'm done with scumming for the rest of this run. Maybe I will do it once we pass the 100 threshold and I'm not recording this anymore. So I can kind of do it on my own while watching YouTube videos. But, I don't know. I guess it's really just kind of turn it into a game. Track numbers. Just focus on what makes you happy as part of it, and like try and accentuate that so you can keep working on it without burning out. Because burnout is probably the worst killer of productivity you can ask for. Let's see. Do you have a job you like not want to do it outside of work? I guess that's a good point, that you don't always want to like have work bleed into life. I guess it's a matter of like kind of personal experience, personal preference. Because I effectively am a person that enjoys working outside of life. Like when I was an art student, when I was going to art college, I would do art for homework, and I'd also do art for I would do art for homework, and I'd do art for fun immediately afterwards, because at that point, like, that was super crucial for me. I guess kind of the crux of the issue is, though, this question was, you know, how do you effectively advance yourself career-wise, or like develop yourself on a professional basis? And I mean, really, you can't advance yourself career-wise by doing other stuff. I guess the point is like trying to avoid burnout. So it also kind of depends on like what you're doing. I don't know. It's messy. Like, if you're already established in a career and you don't have to worry about advancement, like do whatever makes you happy at that point. But if you're still working on it, if you're still super low level, focus. Work really hard on whatever. Let's see. Do I ever get bored doing these, like, infinite runs? Honestly, a little bit. That's kind of why I'm, like, talking about just random stuff along the way here. And honestly, I'm actually going to probably stop this run at this point in time, like, after this floor. We didn't get very far, comparatively. But that's just because I have an insane amount of games to get through. And we've already filmed, effectively, an episode here. And I'm also kind of between thoughts. This is comical. Let's see, how do you scum? Book of Heal, and a Shrine of Blood. Let's see. But, I guess it just depends on, like, what? Oh, he's still alive. I thought I had, like, punched him permanently up into the air, and I was very concerned about where he was going and what was happening there. Let's see, what's next? Catacomb Kids? Yep. Catacomb Kids is pretty much always next. I don't even know what we're doing here. The other problem is, like, I have no idea if the save file is going to get deleted when they patch in, like, 2 days. So there's also that. That's part of the reason why I do these infinite runs. If I could have multiple save slots for this game, I would be super happy, because then I could kind of come back to this one casually, occasionally, and keep progressing further and further and further. But there aren't save slots. I have to rely on possibly a decaying save mechanism to continue this run. Because currently what I do is I actually just take the actually, this is a point for anybody that wants to, like, do a separate type of scum that I've never done in this game. But if you ever have a run that is kind of risky and you're not sure if it's going to do well or not, but you're really curious, if you really want the run to succeed, what you can do is you actually can go over to the book, save, and then you can go into properties, local files, go into the game saves, and actually copy it. And this way, it's effectively saving, and you can rename the copy to the base save file again, and effectively reload if you die or make a mistake or anything like that. But I've never scummed that way. But I'm afraid that every time they patch it, they actually make it so you can't use your save files anymore. Which is part of the reason why I'm kind of focusing on this run a little bit. But I think at this point, I might actually switch it over in montage mode and just, like, play a butt ton of it off camera tomorrow. We'll see. Either way, I will see you guys on the next episode of Vagante. And as always, thanks for watching.